you're synonymous with, with Finlay throughout that
Mhm.
run. I you obviously learnt a huge amount from him, and you're certainly not the first. I had Victoria on recently, and she was describing him as the godfather of women's wrestling, and how they all
Yeah.
kind of gravitated towards Finlay as soon as they
Hmm.
came back through the curtain for his opinion. Um, it's a kind of this is such a big question, but it's a one big takeaway from your time with Finlay in terms of what he taught you sitting under that learning tree.
Being a dad. It's a crazy thing. All of this stuff comes back to being a dad. Like, I feel like this article should come out on like Father's Day weekend or something, because
Yeah.
that's what the whole thing is. He was so I just watching him being a father and raise his kids, and while being on the road, and now seeing what they're doing in NXT, in New Japan, in AEW, all of that. I remember seeing them literally backstage, like looking them in the eye because they were so young and just kids, babies. Seeing them, and now seeing what they're doing is insane to me. But I remember I was overseas, and I called home to check in, and I called Landon's mom, and she told me, "Hey, are you sitting down?" I said, "Of course." She goes, "Want to let you know you're going to be a dad." And I hung up on her immediately. And I literally went, "Nope." And I hung up on her. And I left the production office. And the first person I saw was Larry Heck, the trainer. And the second person, and he goes, "Hey." And I told him, because he could see that I wasn't in a good way and facially. He goes, "You need to tell Fit." And I go, "Not happening." So I walk towards the locker room. The next person I see is Fit. And he sees me and he goes, "What's going on?" Because he could see something in my face. And I go, "Nothing." He goes, "Nope. What's going on?" And I go, "I'm going to be a dad." And he dropped to his knees, and he started welling up with tears, and he gave me the biggest hug ever. And it was like, he goes, "I'm so happy for you." I go, "I'm not." And I literally go, "I'm not." He goes, "This is the greatest thing that will ever happen to you." And man, for him to say that, and him to just assure me that it's going to be okay, that life is going to be awesome now. And he was so right, and just checking on me. And then, all of that stuff. When Landon was born, checking on me and checking on us in the hospital. It was just such a cool thing. And now, when right before Brogan got signed to NXT, I teamed with him at a show in Chicago, and we were just teaming together. And I go, "Hey, we got to call Dad." I literally, right there, I called him, literally called Fit Dad, and it's something I do. I wish him Happy Father's Day every year, because he's I always call him my wrestling dad. Him and Tommy Dreamer couldn't be the most opposite wrestling dads ever. Uh, but then I said, we FaceTimed Fit, and I said, "Hey, Dad, your boys teamed up tonight," and he was just cackling, laughing. He goes, "This is so great," and it was, man, it really, really meant a lot, and for everything he did for me, I am very, very humble and very grateful. He went to bat for me more than anyone, to make sure I was used correctly, to make sure I was used, period, with him, to make sure I was included. He went to bat for me so much, and he probably got so many people just annoyed with him, because he would always pitch for me and to have me, to make sure just I was included. He wanted me. He did not want to have a match on television with me not included with him in a spot of some kind. He always said that, and that's something that really, really meant a lot to me.
And I think the story that you've shared in your book, is one that's kind of really filled with good people within this business. I mean, you're talking about Fit there. There's a
There's no
lovely
sense. Yeah, there's no sense to talk negative. I've
no.
realized I'm a 37-year-old adult. I wanted to be the first wrestling book that didn't come off as first off, a woe is me, and a I deserved more, or a negative book. I mean, there's a
Mm.
couple negative parts in there, obviously, but it's all out of honesty, and I also take blame for a lot of the things as well in the book. So I never wanted to be a burial book by any means, because I have nothing to bury about. In all reality, again, like my dad told me, you're living your dream. You get to live your dream. What is there to be pissed off about?